Hi, I'm Heather Lambert, licensed professional counselor. One of the hardest things that I think we experience in grief and loss is the expectations of others. I remember one time I had a client who came to me after she had processed her grief, after we'd had a number of sessions together in terminated care. About a year later, she showed up on my schedule, came into my office. I was curious about why she was there, and she said, "Heather, I just want to make sure that I did my grief right." Well, the truth is, there's no right or wrong way to process grief, to survive through grief. I celebrated the fact that she was still there. She was in my office. She was still committed to wellness. I had to applaud her for the work that she did and the work that she continued to do. You know, a lot of times I think we feel that way. When we're struggling with this huge, tremendous loss, we just want to make sure that we're doing this thing called grief correctly. Well, I like how Barbara Asher, the author of Ghosting, A Widow's Voyage Out, explains it. She says, "You could think you were going crazy. You are. Grief is a form of insanity. It exists outside the realm of normal experience. People will expect you to be sad and normal. You are not normal, and sad doesn't even begin to describe it." I bet you felt that. I bet there have been times that you've wondered if you're going crazy. I am sure there are times that you felt like you weren't normal. Well, then you're doing grief. The reality is our brains are designed to categorize things. We want to know where everything belongs. We want to know the right way and the wrong way to do things, but grief is outside of that. Grief is outside of our normal experience. We have never felt pain like this. It comes and it goes in waves. It's not kind. It's not considerate. It doesn't care that we need rest or sleep. It doesn't care that we need a second just to take the next breath. Grief is unlike anything we've ever experienced before. It's not normal, and that can make us feel crazy. So let me, as a therapist, comfort you. If you're feeling crazy in your grief, then you're normal. You're normal. This is the hardest thing you've ever dealt with. And the fact that you're watching this and taking another breath, that you're making it another second, means that you're doing this process called grief. And if there are people in your life who do not understand that there are moments where you feel like the only thing that you can do is muster up enough energy to take the next breath, and you can't be kind and caring and considerate, and you certainly can't be normal, I want to give you permission to distance yourself from those people. They don't understand. They're not bad people. They just don't understand the pain that is pressing on you every single second of every single day. I want to invite you to find people, your people, who will hold space for you to show up however you need to show up. During this season of grief and the tremendous pain of loss, there are no expectations for how you're processing or holding your grief. You are normal because you feel crazy and abnormal. That's just an important part of grief. And I want to hold space for that in this very moment. Will you just stop and reflect on the moments that you've wondered if you were crazy? And will you just remind yourself that that means that your great love that was lost cannot make sense to your mind, cannot make sense to you, a world moving on without that person. And that's because grief exists outside the realm of normal. How do you make it through? Well, you make it through by recognizing that each breath is a victory. Each day that comes and goes is a victory. This is not normal, but hold on. There is hope that it won't always hurt as bad as it does in this moment. It won't always hurt as bad as it does today, but hold space for this as a process. Take as much time as you need. I'm Heather Lambert, licensed professional counselor.